this in, folks. Use the force. Positive mental attitude. This is to the police force. Please, please think about what you're doing. Think about who you're serving. Let me ask you one question before you skip this video, because I'm pretty sure most of you will. I have stopped many police officers during lockdown, and I asked why you weren't wearing PPE and why you weren't social distancing. You know the answer to that, as do I. You were given permission to do risk assessments. So the only way you could have risk assessed that is by deciding that herd immunity would work, right? We all have that same right. So let me ask you, in this very, very strange situation, right? Who do you work for and why? What is your goal in life? Do you want to help people? Do you want a good place to live, to raise children? What do you want from life? Do you want to be able to live a free life? I mean, do you want a vaccine that hasn't even been tested properly? They're talking about rolling out a vaccine that they've only been working on for a matter of months, and if they were working on it before that, you've got to ask yourself some questions, police officers. You haven't been doing any social distancing. You haven't been wearing PPE, and where's all your dead colleagues? Where's all the dead cops? Every day through lockdown, I saw you all 4 deep in a car, bowling across forecourts, into shops, skipping queues. No social distancing, no dead cops. How severe is this, and why are you... I just saw a video where someone was speaking out in public and he was strong-armed by a whole group of cops. Now, I think he made a mistake, because he wouldn't just be arrested. But why the fuck would you arrest him anyway? I'm way beyond disappointed with what I'm seeing from the police force, and it just seems like you lot are going to incite public unrest, which I don't want. I don't want to see humans hurting humans. I don't want to see humans hurting animals. But seriously, like, I'm trying to say some things without getting too emotional, because I feel angry. I feel disappointed. I feel like your head's not in the right place. Like, where's your head at? Where's your head at? What on earth is going on? You lot aren't covering up. You're not social distancing. There's no dead cops. There's no piles of dead cops. There's no dead protesters. Why are you blindly enforcing these fucking laws and rules? Soon enough, more people are going to realise, like, the amount... I'm part of many groups, and they grow daily, man. You're not the majority. Quite the opposite. You're about the 1% in the country. Do you think you can just strong-arm people and get away with it? No. And I'm by no means making any threats. I'm positive mental attitude. I'm like, you know, let's be kind with our thoughts and keep love in our hearts, right? But I'm about strength and about honesty. And if you honestly look at your situation, you're going to be left with a load of questions. If you want to just ignore things and be like, that's a problem, right? It's a problem. There's been many protests throughout lockdown, and continuing now because of these COVID measures that are bonkers, and none of you lot are doing them. None of you lot are wearing masks. None of you lot are social distancing. I'll just keep repeating this because you don't have a good answer that then justifies the rest of the population having to do that you're not doing. You're not exempt. You're human. We all bleed the same. You get the same viruses we do. It's not you and us. It's not them and us. It's us. You, police officers, are the same as me. You're a human being. You're part of the humankind. You should start acting like it. Shouldn't you? I can't batter this point much more. And there's not much point. I'll be surprised if many of you get past the opening credits or even watch it at all. Because can you dare to face the reality of what you're doing, of who you're working for? If any of you took some time to look into the system that you're protecting, could you sleep well at night knowing you're protecting it? I want a society that is I want to use the word equal, that has equality in it, but there's some senses to that get confused, because we're not all born equal, are we? Some people are bigger than others, some people are smaller, some people think quicker, some people are artists, some people are creative, some people can't even draw a stick man. I feel for you. But the more I see police officers just mobbing a singular man or woman, the more I think, man, you lot are like in trouble. Like, look at what happened in Brixton. See a video last night. The police force got chased the fuck out of Brixton. You ain't got enough people. You haven't got enough police officers to enforce law on us all. You've got to think about that. I don't want violence. I don't want civil unrest. I don't want a fucking war that we're already in. It's a psychological war, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. Right? This is World War III. We're in it. Psychological warfare is the only warfare that can really prevail. You can't get the army to drop bombs on innocent people in their own lands, so it's a psychological warfare, and that is what it looks like we're living in, and you're perpetuating it. You've got to start asking questions as to what your badge represents and what you represent. What do you stand for? Do you stand for truth and justice, or do you stand for law? There's a big fucking difference, because what's legal isn't always what's wrong. What's legal isn't always what's right. You're people, we're people. So it's us. You're not them, we're not them. If you can't see that, you're so deep in, it's not going to end well for you. We're not going to take it. You're not going to scare me, and you're not going to scare many other people. That's why you're having to mob people, because there's many people that aren't scared. And the people that are forcing this psychological warfare want us to mob you back. You don't want that. I don't want that. But there's a lot of people that aren't being self-aware. There's a lot of people that are just going to act on their emotional reaction. And if you're unlucky enough to be the group of coppers that are on the back end of that, you're going to get trampled. So you've got to think about what you're doing. And, you know, people like me are trying to get other people to think about what they're doing. None of us want social warfare, right? Do you just want to silence me and other people that want good for the world? Check all my videos. I'm pretty sure most of you won't. But you go and have a look. My character's wide out and open. All in video format. I've got backups on it. So, you know. I'm a fucking good person. So are most of you. That's why you're in your job, right? Because you're good people that want right in society, and you realise that we need structure. But do we need this hierarchical structure where your bosses are creating a load of bullshit that is separating us all? When does conscious awareness stop being your prime objective? You have to look at this virus objectively and realise what you're perpetuating. It's not about what's legal, it's about what's right, folks. I'm disgusted by what I'm seeing by you lot. And you're part of the humankind. You need to start acting like it. It's so disappointing. You know, I said to like some of the cops that I stopped and spoken to, like, surely if you thought this virus was that bad, you'd wear masks. And if you don't think it's that bad, surely you should say something about it. It's not an easy time, and I get that, but the police force need to wake up. Because, let's face it, the way you're going to create civil unrest. What's next? They'll have to bring the military in. You'll have no power then. You'll be the same as us, and then it'll be the military against us all, right? Or what, you're just going to join in with the military so you're all like more solid and you can enforce this? What? Enforce what? Do you know what I mean? Freedom of speech is being stripped away from people. The vaccine that they're just about to pump out on people hasn't even been a year in the testing. And if the vaccine that Bill Gates has owned since, what, 2012, if that's what they're talking about using, why the fuck's there been a vaccine for this pandemic in 2020 since 2012? You've got to ask yourself these questions. But we're at 13 minutes. I'm pretty sure there's no police officers watching this. It's very disappointing. I'm not asking you to... I'm only asking you to be aware of what this situation is and what you're actually doing. Because your actions have consequences, as do all of ours. You're not exempt from nothing. You're not exempt from the flu. You're not exempt from the cold. You're not exempt from cancer. You're not exempt from any of it. Yet many of you are walking around like you're fucking gods. Like this power that you've got. It's not even a real power. It's not even a real power. If the majority start kicking back, you're going to be in real trouble. You're not going to be able to control anything, and then shit gets really fucking messy. And do any of us want that? So should you not be standing with your fellow humans against whatever is pushing down this form of control on the globe? It's not a killer virus. It's not a killer virus, because I don't know anyone, right, that is ill, or that even knows anyone that's ill, and a load of people I know didn't social distance for any of it. Peace out.